Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Friday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Sad news today to be reporting that recovery efforts are underway for a 15-year-old Amish girl who reportedly drowned this afternoon in Pembroke. According to Christian County Emergency Management Director Randy Graham, the call came in around 2 o'clock about 4 youths having water in their lungs. Graham told Source 16 that 4 Amish youths were on a makeshift boat when it overturned in a pond located at 471 Anderson Lane. He said 3 of the youths were able to make it to safety, except for the 15-year-old girl. The family of the girl was visibly upset as 3 rescue teams combed through the pond on boats. Christian County EMS was also on the scene. As of news time, the Christian County Sheriff's Office remains on the scene. A Christian County Sheriff's deputy is accused of shooting a family's dog yesterday, and the family's wanting an apology and the truth about the incident. There are always 2 sides to any story, and here's both sides of this one.
When Sergeant Radford approached the house, he was met by a very large canine. A German Shepherd came out from the front of the house. Sergeant Radford describes the dog as being aggressive. He was growling, showing his teeth. Sergeant Radford then began to back up to try to get back into his cruiser. And according to Radford, the dog lunged toward his legs, got approximately a couple feet away. At that point, Sergeant Radford pulled out his service weapon and fired the service weapon toward the ground to where the dog's area was. Now, the dog was hit in the nose, and my understanding is the dog is missing a couple of teeth. The dog was taken by family members, I believe, to Skyline Animal Clinic. We assured them that go ahead and have the surgery. You'll get paid for the surgery no matter what, even if we have to pay for it, because that's just a humane thing to do. We're very sorry that the situation happened. It was unavoidable, and we're glad that the dog is doing good. We have no ill feelings toward the dog. We're glad that the dog is doing better. So, our main concern right now is just to make sure that everybody has the facts.
My problem with what happened is there's a wrong done that I feel like someone needs to take responsibility for it, not just financially, but I believe there's an apology in order, because anytime any police officer, the first thing you do, you pepper spray first, or then you tase, then you shoot. You don't pull your gun first and then ask questions later. That's not an acceptable behavior. I mean, I wouldn't think it was an acceptable behavior for something like that. And if there was a case where there was an aggressive dog, which ours isn't, I wouldn't expect them not to defend themselves. But in this situation, that wasn't the case. He doesn't have an aggressive bone in his body, and the fact that someone can just come to your home and shoot your animal in your driveway and suffer no consequences, that there's something wrong with that I can't sleep with. I can't handle that being okay. For me to be okay with it, I know in my heart, and I know that dog, the only thing that's aggressive about him is his size. He just looks big. I appreciate the fact that they were paying the surgical bills to take care of Dino's surgery, but that's not enough. That's not enough. Our family's in a lot of pain over this, because he was part of our family. He's just an extension of our family. He's like another child.
My whole reasoning for talking to the media and things like that is so that this doesn't happen again. It needs to be addressed so that another family doesn't have the pain that we went through over this. And it needs to be something that they look at and say, hey, maybe we need a little more training in this area, or whatever they need to do to keep such a drastic measures for something that shouldn't have been such a terrible situation. It could have been absolutely avoided, and it was just an unnecessary cruel act.
Source 16 also spoke to the veterinarian, who said the dog did not show any signs of aggression while in his care. And neighbor Pam Ezel and Tiffany Hayes, who witnessed the deputy shooting Dino, stated they had never even seen the dog bark, growl, or even jump up on anyone. The Family told Source 16 they just want a heartfelt apology and for the deputy to tell the truth of the circumstances leading up to the family's pet being shot. The family also told Source 16 they're planning on filing a complaint against Sergeant Radford. A Hopkinsville Water Environment Authority pump station located on Hurst and Dawn Drive has reportedly been overflowing with sewage due to recent flooding. Source 16 spoke to HWEA Director of Operations Derek Watson about the problem and how the utility company is handling the situation.
For the Oakhurst station, since both of the pumps in the Oakhurst station had just recently failed, what we plan to do is actually replace those pumps with new pumps, and we're also going to upsize the pumps a little bit in order that they can actually carry more product that comes to them. We also have plans in our SRF Phase 7, which our City Council just approved. We also have plans to go into that area and actually study the area and find out why there is so much stormwater getting into the sewer utility that comes specifically to that pump station.
According to Watson, sewage pumping out of the station appears on occasion when there is severe weather.
If you have a tremendous amount of rain in a short period of time, it can overwhelm not only the stormwater system but also the sewer utility. The rainwater just finds its way into the sewer utility either through manholes or through broken pipes for some reason, like if someone tore a house down years ago and for whatever reason they did not do a good job of sealing that pipe that served that home, then groundwater can find its way into the pipes.
And he also told us HWEA takes every concern from area residents seriously.
We absolutely want to know in instances where, we're familiar with the areas that cause, that commonly overflow. We're familiar with those areas, and those areas are normally areas that are right next to the river or next to a sinkhole.
There are currently 88 pump stations throughout Hopkinsville. Well, a former Fort Campbell soldier charged with selling machine guns and explosives to an undercover agent last year was sentenced in federal court today. According to the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Kentucky, David Hale, Eric Waldman, a former active duty infantryman with Company A, 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry, was scheduled to 1 year and 1 day in prison, followed by 2 years supervised release. Court records indicate that Waldman had previously entered a guilty plea to 3 counts of a federal indictment on September 14, 2010. Now, according to court records, the former infantryman sold a special weapons model SW5 9mm machine gun to an undercover alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agent for $5,500 on January 17, 2010 in Christian County. The indictment further alleges on June 7, 2010 in Christian County, Waldman sold a Kohari Arms model CA-94 machine gun and a Claymore mine to an ATF agent for $10,000. Hopkinsville residents had an opportunity to express their opinions about the city's proposed multi-million-dollar Rails to Trails project last night.
I am very much in favor of Rails to Trails. I've seen it be successful in communities all over the United States. I have ridden on many Rails to Trails in many parts of the country, and I think it's important to Hopkinsville because, first of all, I think we are living in an area that is not particularly known for being healthy. We live in one of the unhealthiest states in the country.
According to Mayor Dan Kemp, the 3-phased Rails to Trails project is a win-win situation for the city.
Well, the rail trail would benefit the city in many ways. It would provide an opportunity for people to get out and get exercise, recreation, and it would improve our quality of life in Hopkinsville to have a great new recreational facility like this.
Representatives from Lewis and Associates, who are currently in the feasibility phase of the project, also answered questions from residents and concerns about crime rates increasing as a result of the proposed trail.
and it's our job to make sure we build a facility that is safe, that provides the feeling of safeness also for the residents. I know this trail being elevated like it is, it kind of looks down into some people's backyards, and they're concerned, and our job is to figure out how to get rid of those concerns and to make them comfortable with what's going on. And a lot of times we'll do screening, either vegetative or fencing. It's all according to the area.
Davidson also explains where the trail will be located.
Our study goes along the river from Westside Park over to Main, and also down along the rail line from the river all the way down to Pardue Park. Pardue Park is not the termination for the phase 1. It's probably more up towards the river, and that's still being studied exactly where phase 1 will terminate.
Officials say the project is going to cost over $2.5 million to complete, with construction tentatively scheduled to take place next year.